Hi friends, today I'm going to talk to you about the novel of Mulk Anand, Untouchable. Untouchable is a novel written in the year 1935 by Mulk Anand. In my earlier video, I talked to you about the life and works of Mulk Anand, but this time I'm going to talk to you about the novel, which is a very famous novel. And in this novel, Mulk Anand has tried to capture the life of a young man, Bhakha, who is a member of Untouchables, member of the caste which is considered the lowest caste in the Indian society. And in those days, when this novel was written, this discrimination was very high, and the upper caste Hindu really uh, did not respect these people coming from the lowest strata of the society. And the work of the Untouchables was to clean the streets and clean the toilets. So sweeping the streets and cleaning the toilets was a major work that the Untouchables were carrying out in those days. And Bhakha, a member of Untouchable caste, is only 18-year-old, and this particular novel actually charts the path of one day in the life of this young man, Bhakha. And in one day, Bhakha undergoes several changes in his life. So, actually, you will see development in his character in only one day. There are many characters in this novel. The protagonist is Bhakha. Then there is his father Lakha, his sister Sohini, a priest Kalinath, a hockey player Charit Singh, and a Christian, Mr. Hutchinson. This story revolves around the life of Bhakha, who goes out to clean the toilets at the behest of his bullying father Lakha. And when he goes out to clean the toilets there, he not only cleans the toilets, he also sweeps the streets. And during this period, what happens is that he goes to the house of one hockey player. The hockey player is Charit Singh, and this hockey player is a upper caste Hindu and who does not believe in caste system and who considers Bhakha also as a human being and treats him very well. And he also promises him to give him a hockey stick in the afternoon after Bhakha comes back after finishing his work. Bhakha is happy and he understands that there are at least a few people in the society who treats him well. Then Bhakha goes on cleaning the streets. Meanwhile, some developments take place, and he comes home also, and he feels thirsty, and he asks his sister Sohini to bring water for him. His sister goes out to bring water from the communal well, but she cannot, as the customary is, deep water from the communal well. She has to wait for a upper caste Hindu to give her the water, because Hindus believe that the touch of the undercaste will pollute the well, which would have to be subjected to lengthy and expensive pollution rituals. So when sister is waiting for some upper caste Hindu to take mercy on her and give her water, priest named Kalinath arrives, and infatuated by the sensuous beauty of his sister Sohini, he agrees to pour water for her. He then invites her to the temple courtyard later in the day so that she can clean it. Bhakha moves through the streets sweeping and he accidentally touches upper caste Hindu young man who begins to shout that he has been polluted by Vakha. The man shouts at Vakha as a mob gathers, joining in the insults. The man slaps Vakha before a Muslim cart driver breaks up the fight and disperses the mob. The Muslim man does not care about the Hindu caste since he is also treated as an untouchable. Vakha goes to the temple and looks inside the temple because he is forbidden to enter the temple, and so he is very much afraid also. But before he could be caught by some other person seeing inside the temple, his sister appears crying. The priest Kalinath, who had invited her to clean the temple there, was found accusing her of polluting him with her touch. Sohini claimed that he sexually assaulted her by grabbing her breasts while she was cleaning the lavatory. It was only when she rejected the advances of the priest Kalinath that the priest began shouting at her that she had touched him. Vakha understands it and asks his sister Sohini to go home, and he promises her that he would take the responsibility for gathering food for the family, and then he spends the rest of the afternoon begging for food. He begs the food for the family, and he is meanwhile subjected to various indignities and cruelties from the upper caste Hindus. This makes him increasingly disgusted with the mistreatment he suffers, and when he gets home, he tells his father the story about the man who hit him. But the father insists that the upper Hindus are good and kind, and reminds Vakha that when he was an infant, a Hindu doctor came to their home and saved Vakha's life when he had a fever. Towards evening, Vakha attends the wedding of the sister of one of his friends, and he narrates the story of his being beaten up to his friends. One of the friends proposes to take revenge on that man. Vakha considers it, but he understands that he will only get himself and his family in trouble if he retaliates. The untouchables have no right to or justice. They have no recourse for justice. Then, after collecting the hockey stick from Charat Singh, Vakha goes for playing hockey. And while the game is on, a fight begins between the two teams, and they start pelting stones at one another. One of the stones hit a little boy. He gets injured, and Vakha picks him up and carries him to his mother, who recognizes him as a street sweeper. And instead of feeling obliged, she gets angry at him and she starts screaming at him. She accuses him of having polluted her son. This again further makes Vakha very unhappy, sad and disgusted and depressed. Vakha actually then goes to a railway station When he arrives railway station, he comes to know that Mahatma Gandhi was coming to that place and he was going to give a speech. Vakha waits for Gandhiji. Gandhiji's speech condemns the caste system and urges the people to follow his example of non-violent protest. Vakha is enthused. Vakha is impressed. Vakha, however, does not know enough to determine whether Gandhiji's suggestions are naive. So he overhears a debate after Gandhi's speech is over. He overhears a debate going between a lawyer and a poet. The lawyer considers Gandhi's views as ridiculous. He says that the caste system is not going to disappear, and but the poet does not agree with the lawyer, and he says that soon after the arrival of the flushing toilet, this caste system will go away and the untouchables will no longer be untouchables because they will not do the job of cleaning the toilets and sweeping the streets. When Vakha overhears this argument between the two, Vakha becomes a little hopeful about the future of the untouchables. He becomes a little hopeful of the castes, of the fact that the caste system, the rigid caste system, will go away. So this is the story of Vakha. I would like to say something about the character of Vakha. So Vakha is an 18-year-old man born into the untouchable caste in India, and when the novel begins, Vakha is resigned to his fate. He is resigned to his fate that he has to do the work of cleaning the streets and toilets all his life. There is no alternative, there is no option for him left. The major development of his character over the course of the story spanning one day of his life is that his reluctance to accept his untouchable status turns into a rage, an anger at his circumstances, and is accompanied by a desire for vengeance. So this is all the development that we see in the character of Vakha. Vakha is an illiterate person, but he had some hopes also. He had some aspirations as well. One more thing about Vakha is quite revolutionary. That is his own independent views about himself and his caste. When Vakha encounters a Christian, Hutchinson, he understands that, and actually he's actually convinced. He is being convinced by this man, Hutchinson, that all people do not mistreat the untouchables. Actually, according to the Christianity, everybody is equal. But this actually makes Vakha a little happy. But when Hutchinson says that we are all born into this world and we are destined to our own particular state of life just because of the sins we have committed in our past lives. This is something Vakha cannot borrow. Vakha does not borrow this idea of sin. He says that I have not committed a sin. And he understands that it's not because of his sins committed in the past lives that he is born untouchable. So this is also one aspect of his character. Inside Vakha, he is a is a revolutionary. Inside Baka is a person who not believes that uh, he has his own life, independent life, but the kind of treatment he meets makes him sad, unhappy, disgusted, and all. Through this story, my dear friends, uh, Mulk Anand has tried to touch upon the discrimination, the rigidity of caste system prevalent then. And because this novel was written in the year 1935, when this caste system was very much there in place, this rigidity of caste system, this cruelty of the upper caste people towards the lower caste people was very much in place. The novel actually earns authenticity. The novel depicts the things in a very accurate manner. So the accuracy and authenticity of this novel is very much there, because this novel was written in a time when caste system, when discrimination, when racial discrimination as well was very much high. Because in this novel, when Hutchinson takes Baka to church, his wife, Mrs. Hutchinson, actually shouts at her husband that he had brought a black person to the church. So here this racial discrimination was also very high, which has been very beautifully captured by this novelist. This is all that I wanted to talk to you about this particular novel. Thank you.